Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Scam Likely, where if it seems too good to be true, it probably is. My name is Diana Ogilvy with the Cobb County Sheriff's Office, and I'm sitting here with Investigator Munoz, also with the Cobb County Sheriff's Office, who's been with us for the past 18 years investigating fraud and crime. Welcome to another episode.
Thank you.
All right. So today we're just going to dive into what are the red flags that we should look for when, we're being scammed. Or if we don't even think we're being scammed, but something in the back of our heads. So based on your years of investigation, what has been the evolution of that, and what should we be looking forward?
If I had to put one at the top of the list, it would probably be, I think we've discussed in other episodes, is the sense of urgency, creating that this has to be done right now, or something bad is going to happen, or something bad is happening, and that's why you need to do this right away. And that can be anything from the power's going to get turned off, there's a fine, a missed jury summons, and if you don't take care of it, there's going to be a warrant for your arrest, or something terrible is going to happen. That creates that urgency in responding. And the reason they do that is so that you don't have time to analyze it, or to talk to somebody that you trust, to run it past somebody else to see if it sounds legit. They don't want you to think about it. They just want to get you moving, get you doing, and that doing is going to involve getting at your money and getting it to them.
So the first thing we have to really look out for is take a beat, breathe, right? And if they're still insistent on it, then that should be a red flag for you to know that, you know what, something is happening here.
I'm being rushed. I'm being pressured.
Yeah. And creating that sense of urgency, that sense of panic. And then if they move forward to the next phase, which is send the money, how?
Okay. There's several ways to send somebody money. You've probably used maybe all of them, but if somebody's asking you for a payment in the method of say, one of the apps on your phone, like Venmo, Zelle, Cash App, PayPal, if they're asking you to pay them in that methods, PayPal, it depends, because PayPal has a friends and family.
Yes.
If they're asking you to pay with through PayPal, and they're specifically asking you to select friends and family, and they're not a friend and they're not your family, that's because PayPal, if you select that, won't give you the money back if you got scammed. They won't guarantee it. But if you use PayPal without selecting that, like buying something from eBay, it's your money's safe.
Okay, so if you have the business option, a business operator option, I believe that is on PayPal.
I believe that's it. That's it.
Okay.
The others, like with Zelle, Venmo, Cash App, if you're going to pay a stranger, somebody you've never met, using one of those methods, and you couple that with some incident that involves you responding to it right away, those are two red flags that you should at that point hang up the phone and talk to somebody. Call the Cobb County Sheriff's Office Fraud Unit and tell us what's going on before you do anything else, because those are already the telltale signs of somebody's lining you up to scam you. Because if you pay them with one of those methods, and each one of those places, Zelle, Cash App, Venmo, and I'm probably leaving out one or two because there's just so many of them.
There's a lot, but anything on the phone, those apps.
All of them, you can open up an account with one of those with fake information. You don't have to go into an office building where they're going to get your ID, take your picture, so that they can remain unidentifiable. And if they're scamming you and you send money, they'll be able to get at that money, and when you realize you've been scammed and report it to law enforcement, they won't be able to do anything about it, because there's no way to identify somebody that never existed. That never existed.
Wow.
That they just made up on paper, or on their phone or on their computer.
But the account is real that is going to.
Oh yeah, but they can open up an account at any one of those. I can open up an account at any bank of your choosing right now on my cell phone, using fake information. And the banks, the banking institutions, They allow 30 days for me to present myself at a local branch to verify my identity. But if I'm Mr. Dirtbag scammer, I'm going to steal as much money from as many people as I can and run it through that account and get it out, take it out of there before that 30 days is up. And I don't worry about them closing that account because I'm going to open up, or I already have 5 more opened up the same way. So that's just with those methods. The same thing goes for money orders, paying somebody with a money order. If it's somebody, that's created a sense of urgency that you don't know, you've never met them, and you're paying them with a money order, that also becomes like a
red flag.
A red flag, because you can't trace a money order. If you pay somebody with the Western Union, let's say, that's a form of money order. They can walk in anywhere. There's
remittances place,
Right. There's like a Publix's. I don't know if it's Kroger's. There's grocery stores that at the customer service desk you can cash a Western Union. Well, if they walk in there, that employee that has no way of verifying the person's ID, if they bother to ask for an ID, and maybe if we can locate that store, the best we're going to get is a picture, a video of a security camera with questionable, quality, and say, okay, who is this person? It's not like on TV. There is a little bit of facial recognition software that we have access to, but it has to be a certain type of a photo for that to work. It's not guaranteed. And the quality has to be really good on the photo for that to work. So if we have nothing but a picture of an unknown person, it's a piece of the puzzle. But we need the other pieces, like suspected names that we can verify, get an actual picture of that person, and then compare the two. But if all we have is just that one piece, we might as well not have anything, because we won't be able to identify them.
Well, you have touched on just how hard it is to not even prosecute, but to investigate these fraud cases. Because 30 days is astounding to me, because you could do a lot in 30 days. And as you mentioned, they have 5, 10, 15, 20 other bank accounts that they can run to and just rinse and repeat. Just that cycle just keeps going. And in
investigating a fraud case, you send out a subpoena to a banking institution to get banking records. There's 30 to 90 days involved in there, because fraud is off the chain. The amount of crime that's occurring nationwide is off the chain. So there's a lot of time limitations there. There's time limitations to acquire video of someone in a business, because on average, 30 days is a lot in some places. In a lot of places, it's less than that. Small gas stations, privately owned gas stations, they don't have a server there to keep video that long. So time is always against us. It's always in the favor of the criminal that has all the time in the world to pull these things off and create as much hurdles to lengthen the amount of time it takes to get reported or investigated, because it works in their favor.
And another red flag of payment is cryptocurrency.
Yeah, cryptocurrency is very, very difficult to trace. Hence the name crypto. And it has the dollar amounts. There's so much of it going on that the Secret Service, which has assisted on various occasions of us getting some funds back, they've lifted their threshold, and it's pretty high up there, which that's not very comforting or a way to warn someone. You have to lose a lot of money in order for us to be able to turn to the federal
Secret Service.
For federal assistance.
But what do you mean that they lifted the threshold? What does that mean?
Whereas before, I've had in years ago, I've had victims that lost $30,000 or $40,000 through crypto. I was able to turn to the federal partners for help. But now there's so much more of it, being taken in that form, that there's only so many, agents to go around, and so they've raised the amount of loss that has to occur before they can assist.
Oh, wow.
Because there just isn't so much that so much.
So
they
they're
can
looking
do.
for greater amounts than 30, 40,000.
Yes.
And yeah, as someone who has dabbled in cryptocurrency, it doesn't feel like real money, right? That's the thing.
I haven't dabbled in it other than helping people that have lost a great deal of money through it.
Yeah, because I have a wallet and there's some money in there, but to get that transferred into real world money, that's where the rub. That's where that difficulty lies. So it's not unheard of, back in, I would say maybe 2-3 years ago, you would see, there's these apes, these crypto apes that are selling for $40 million for one ape, right? And, these are collector's items. So if you collect these apes digitally, put them in your wallet, you hold on to it, it becomes this NFT, which is like a whole other ballgame when it comes to art. So it's this bragging rights. And I think the Smithsonian also sold a piece of cryptocurrency for about $69 million. Wow. Like, it doesn't sound real.
No,
it doesn't sound real. So now I understand when you said they raised your threshold. So it's more than 30 or 40,000. Do you know what the amount is?
I believe it's in the over 100, and it might have gone up slightly than that.
So more than $100,000 before they would even look into.
I mean, I'll try. If somebody comes in and they lost, I'll reach out to them and try just in the chance, especially if it's something that's just happened within a day or two. It's very fresh. But I have no control over.
Yeah. And you mentioned also in another episode some unconventional ways, like going to the ATM, putting money in a shoebox. Like, people don't, if anybody tells you to go to the ATM and pull money out and then put it in a shoebox or FedEx it, that is a red flag. But I'll let you go into that a little bit more.
Well, you just did a good job pointing that out. It's illegal to send it. I think it's a federal offense to send cash through the mail. And if somebody's asking you to do that, I mean, I've never done it in my life. The only people I've ever known that have sent large amounts of cash in the mail are victims of scams and fraud crimes. That alone. If somebody's asking you to mail them $20,000, $30,000, I've had victims that mailed out $150,000 in 2 boxes through FedEx.
Wow.
If somebody's asking you to do that, you're being scammed. There's something very, very wrong in somebody asking you to do that. There's something illegal going on.
Wow. Well, we have covered certainly a lot for the red flags of payment, and I really hope you guys have been paying attention. And Investigator Munoz will close us out with where to report scams in Cobb County.
You can report a scam in Cobb County at 770-499-4639.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Scam Likely, where if it seems too good to be true,
it probably is.
It probably is. Sharpen up, people. We'll see you next time.